The return of two great fighters is among us, as it has been confirmed by Ring Magazine that Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo will officially be returning back to the ring on May 31st in fabulous Las Vegas on the same card, but not against each other. As usual, I'll be handing this over to my co-hosts. Now, let's talk boxing.
Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo will be fighting on the same card May 31st in Las Vegas, Nevada. Of course, they are trying to build a super fight between both the men if they get past their respective opponents. My question is, will the inactivity play a big factor for both men?
No, I say it's about time we see Caleb Plant and Charlo back in the ring. I feel like that Charlo's last performance wasn't, up to par what I expect from him. Jose Benavidez is a tough opponent, but he's at 154. He doesn't belong, especially at 160.
And honestly, his legs been shot. We all know with Jose Benavidez a tragic story, but again, yeah, he's not the best opponent.
But with Caleb Plant, on the other hand, I was really impressed by him with Trevor McCumbee.
In my opinion, I don't think Caleb Plant looked all that good. He had a lot of adversity in that fight. I feel like, a lot of people had Caleb Plant winning. Trevor McCumbee was an unknown fighter. He had really never fought anyone good up to that fight. He was just, he had a blown-up record made up. But the fact that McCumbee was able to drop Caleb Plant twice to three times, I believe, that just proved to me that Caleb Plant's chin has been cracked. We saw him got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez, and then we saw him get hurt viciously against David Benavidez. My question is could he still withstand the power coming from a big puncher? And one thing Jamal Charlo has over Plant is the power. I know the guy's been inactive. He's only had one fight in like the last 3 to 4 years. It really sucks because he is a talent, but he still showed the power and the technique against Jose Benavidez.
What makes a fighter so great is them coming back, especially adjusting the way that Caleb Plant did against McCumbee.
The winner of this fight could fight someone like Edgar Berlanga or Jaime Munguia or even a Diego Pacheco, who many haven't heard of. I'm happy to see those fighters from PBC finally coming back. We're always talking about how PBC fighters like Errol Spence and Keith Thurman never fight. Same thing with Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant. They're so inactive, but it just seems like, they're ready to come back out of their shell. And it's exciting because these are top talent. They are the best fighters in the world.
Now, the good thing about this is that PBC is starting to build up stars since the Saudis came into the picture. Now we're starting to see more stars like Caleb Plant, like Charlo, Benavidez. They're promoting all these guys fantastically.
The question with Jamal Charlo is really, is he still into the sport of boxing? Does he still really want it? To me, I like Caleb Plant because he's a true boxer. When you look at someone like Caleb Plant, he never ducks the smoke. He always keeps it respectful and polite unless they're talking bad about him. And then he shows his levels, not just on the mic, but this guy actually is a very good fundamental boxer. Jamal Charlo, on the other hand, he has a loud mouth. He does have power, and he has had good wins before, but he talks way more than he actually shows in the fight. To me, it seems like Jamal Charlo, he's not in the right headspace for this fight.
And I agree. I feel like that Jamal Charlo isn't as talented as Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, clearly a lot more better boxer. And with Jamal Charlo, he's the harder puncher. But I just feel like at 168, can really Jamal Charlo make a dent on Plant's chin? McCumbee did, but McCumbee's a 168-pounder. Charlo's straight from 160. So we'll see how that translates.
I think if Jamal Charlo has the proper mindset and the right coaching behind him, I really do think he has enough tools in his arsenal to crack someone like Caleb Plant's chin.
If they get past these opponents and they fight each other, who do you see coming out on top in that fight?
It's hard to say. I really do feel like this is a 50-50 fight. I would start leaning towards Caleb Plant just because he's been a little bit more active than Jamal Charlo and he has a little bit more experience with better, well-rounded fighters. But at the same time, like I said, Caleb Plant to me is a little chinny. And if anybody could crack Caleb Plant, it would have to be a smart boxer who knows his fundamentals like a Jamal Charlo. So I think it's up in the air as a 50-50, but I would have to lean towards Caleb Plant.
I agree. I feel like Caleb Plant would outbox Charlo. Maybe Charlo might get lucky. Obviously, he has a puncher's chance, but I just don't see it especially since his timing might be off, especially after this fight. This guy that he's going to face next isn't really a high-level opponent like that, so I have to go with Plant by a decision or even by knockout.
I would even say, the fact that Caleb Plant smacked the hell out of Jamal Charlo, I feel like that's psychologically already kind of 1 point ahead. That's round one, and he already won round one, just by the fact that he slapped him, and Jamal's energy wasn't there. You could tell he didn't want to be aggressive. He didn't keep the same energy how he did online. So to me, that's a psychological warfare. Caleb Plant's already winning and ahead of the battle. Now we just got to see his energy change. Has Charlo's energy swifted and he's in a better mindset? Like I said, we'll have to see May 31st. Let us know down below who you guys think will win and who will come out on top. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy, Mac. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Please make sure to go like, share, and subscribe, and we're out.